Here's Charles Davis after the game. All right, Charles, good to have you join us here at the end of this one. Your thoughts here, Charles, because obviously, Buffalo, big double-digit favorites coming into this game.
Yeah.
Did they underestimate the Jets in this situation?
I think if the case can be made for that, Jeremy, but I really don't want to go in that direction because to me that's taking away credit from the New York Jets and what they did today. I do think that Buffalo took them seriously. I do think that Buffalo was aware that this is an improved Jets team. I think that Buffalo had their own confidence that it doesn't matter who they play, they're going to be fine. But this Jets team from last week, which was a major disappointment, there's no sense sugarcoating it or soft selling it. A huge disappointment. They thought they were going to announce themselves to the rest of the league, and especially the AFC East, with a win over the New England Patriots, who have run that division for more years than you and I can count. But that didn't happen, so a lot of people thought, same old Jets, here we are. They bounced back in a week's time and put together a complete effort. And just last week, people were questioning whether Zach Wilson was their quarterback for the future. Heck, they were wondering if he was their quarterback for the present. He played within himself today. He made the throws he needed to make. He didn't make a huge mistake. He lost one ball in the pocket on a blindside hit by Von Miller, missed one open target with Denzel Mims. But I thought that Mike LaFleur, the offense coordinator, called a masterful game to give him confidence with short throws for completions and also to tamp down the pass rush of the Buffalo Bills. And then at the end of the game, how impressive was the Jets' offensive line in running the football down the Bills' throat to kick the game-winning field goal and then hold on defense. And when I say hold on, they really didn't hold on much of the day. They applied pressure to Josh Allen throughout.
And you look at this AFC East, what a competitive division it is. When you look at this win for the Jets, in terms of the big picture, Charles, how big is this victory for them over a team that is expected to be in the Super Bowl?
I think it's massive because remember, as we come down the stretch, Jeremy, we always go to tiebreakers, don't we? Hard as it is to believe, the Jets now have beaten Miami here, and they've also beaten the Buffalo Bills. Their losses to New England. Okay, they get a chance at them again later in the year. The Buffalo Bills may be 6-2, and coming into this game, I said they were the best team in the National Football League. That does revert to Philadelphia now. The Buffalo Bills are 0-2 in their division. So if somehow this gets tight down the stretch, yeah, this game becomes really huge then, Jeremy.
So from a Buffalo standpoint, Charles, do you think that what do they take away from this loss? What was it for them that was the difference for you? Was Josh Allen taking on too much? Did they not get enough going in terms of the run game? What was the problem for Buffalo on this day?
I think there's a combination of that. Josh Allen wasn't as sharp as he normally is. They start out the ball game with a big strike to Stephon Diggs. They're in the red zone ready to score, and he throws an inexplicable interception. I think he thought his tight end was going to run a flatter route to the sideline, and he threw it there. And his tight end ran up the field and allowed the safety, Jordan Whitehead, to undercut it and make the interception. He had another one like that later with Gabe Davis where I think he thought he'd be in one spot and he was in another. But all in all, he wasn't sharp. There should have been a third interception. Jordan Whitehead dropped it on a play down the middle. So he just wasn't quite the Josh Allen we have seen. But all in all, I don't think Buffalo loses confidence. I don't think they all of a sudden think they're not a contender. Their defense is always going to be good. But Matt Milano, who I think is a Pro Bowl linebacker, didn't play. Jordan Poyer doesn't play again in the secondary. They've always having to mix and match people in. They get a few people healthy and get right, they're going to be the true Buffalo Bills defense again. But right now, their run defense is where people are going to start to test them because that's back-to-back weeks where we've seen people gash them in the run game. Green Bay on Sunday night, and here with the Jets, especially late in this one.
CBS Sports play-by-play analyst Charles Davis joining us here on CBS Sports HQ on the call for the Jets and the Bills today. Big win for the Jets. Charles, thanks for hopping on with us after the game.
Thanks, Jeremy. Take care now.
All right, so the New York Jets get the big win. Rick, you heard it there. 0-2 in the division for the Buffalo Bills. So obviously this is a huge win and a huge loss for the Bills.
No, and they lost down to Miami earlier. Now they lost on the road again to the Jets. And a couple of points that I want to make. First off is that Josh Allen has struggled last couple of weeks. He's thrown interceptions. How many points has Buffalo put on the board? 17 today. I think they had less than 20 last week. So they're struggling a little bit. And the New York Jets, and we talked about it in the pregame about Wilson, and is he labeled a bust right now? But as long as he plays the way he did today and not turn the ball over, and just make plays that are there and give it to his playmakers, and they're able to run the ball because the Jets win games when they're able to run the ball. Listen, he's, I believe, 4-1 or 5-1 right now as a starter, even though he doesn't have the gaudy stats that everybody talked about. So, but if he can play the way he can and the way the New York Jets defense is playing right now, they may make some noise coming down the stretch.
It's almost as if they were blowing out Green Bay last week, took their foot off the gas pedal, and they couldn't get it back on again. Because they didn't in the second.
Neutral this week.
Well, they didn't in the second half, and they didn't today. And you're right, the offense is not playing the same. We saw them in the first half against Green Bay, and that was the Bills' offense. Up and down the field, Allen was playing great. Then they kind of pulled back a little bit, and it almost cost them a little bit in that game, and it cost them in this game. They have to get back to being the loose, free, throw it around offense that they were early in the season.
Do you think they're feeling some pressure? Do you think that's what it is? I mean, everybody's talking about Josh Allen MVP, that the Buffalo Bills are going to the Super Bowl. Like, do you think that maybe some of that pressure, they're starting to believe their own press a bit?
No, I think they've had injury issues on defense that have impacted them a little bit. They've also have to get an idea of who they are. And who they are is playing fast, free, and loose, and letting him do things with his arm. I mean, think about it. He only threw 34 times today. He ran it 9 times. That shouldn't happen. He needs to throw the ball more. He needs to throw the ball down. You have Gabriel Davis on the outside. He had, 5 catches? 2 catches today. That has to be more down the field.
Well, Josh Allen's turning into their best running back.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Yeah,
No,
right.
because he's going to end up getting hurt. But I was wondering if Ken Dorsey had another conniption like we see when the last time they lost in the division.
Well, he should have. I mean, this is an offense that shouldn't be stopped, and it's stopped itself in the last couple of
weeks. They have too many playmakers and an MVP-type quarterback, and their defense is struggling right now a little bit, especially stopping the run. So.
But also, let's give some props to the Jets.
Absolutely. That was the next place I wanted to go. I mean, Rick mentioned the fact that Zach Wilson all week, there's been talk about, there was discussion on the pick 6 about whether he should be benched, whether it's time to bench him, that he's a bust. Pete, what does this win mean for Zach Wilson if you're a Jets fan?
Well, I don't think he played that great either. He was okay. He just didn't make the mistakes. He's not winning.
If he doesn't make the mistakes, the Jets are good enough defensively, and if they're able to run the ball, they're going to win games.
The defense won the game today. 5 sacks, 2 picks. 5 sacks, 2 picks. That's how you win in the NFL against a dominant team like this. That defense, nobody had more than one. I mean, it's a bunch of guys coming after the quarterback and getting pressure on him, and they hit him. And that's how you win in this league. This isn't Zach Wilson winning the game. He didn't turn it over. That's the best thing about him. But the win came from the defense. They also rushed the ball for 174 yards.
That's how they win games. That's
right.
what we've been saying.
Well, I'm saying, but what are you going to give Zach Wilson credit for not turning the ball over?
Well, he didn't lose a game for him.
Correct.
But he does enough things to help him win the game.
Eventually, he's going to get to the point where he's got to win a game. That's the question with the Jets. Can Zach Wilson win a game?
We'll see.
Okay.
What's his record right now?
The quarterback record isn't a
There we go. It's like, I want stats, and then I want records.
It's not a
and then
stat.
It's like stats. And
it's not a stat.
What do you want? You have to pick one or the other.
What he did today was manage the game. If that's what you want in a quarterback, you have yourself a quarterback. He's got to get better throwing the ball down the field.
And he has to throw more, apparently, just like Josh Allen.
He doesn't have to throw
Yeah,
more.
maybe that's the
thing.
problem.
That's why
Maybe that's the problem. He actually doesn't have to throw more.
Josh Allen should be throwing more.
He's thrown 35 times. How many more times you want him to throw? 50? You're not going to win games if you throw the ball 50 times.
If I have Josh Allen in that offense, I'm throwing it 50
all
times.
All right. You know what? These guys are going to be talking. These guys are going to talk about it into the break, and these guys here on the screen are going to be talking about Zach Wilson, this performance by the Jets. Inside the NFL, new episodes every Tuesday night. You can stream it exclusively on Paramount+.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.